So I hope that I'm online now. Can you hear me? I see that the video seems to be a little bit slow in responding. Yes, I hope it works. If you're able to hear me, hi, hello and welcome. Microbehunter here. And today, yes, it's Sunday. It's one day later than I normally do my live streams. I'm still happy that, of course, that you found time to join me in. For personal reasons, I was not able to do the live stream yesterday, but I see that many of you already started to join in, and I hope that even though it's Sunday, that it's still going to be fine for you. Okay, just a little bit of technical housekeeping for me to do here. I do have a little bit of an issue. I'm just always double checking whether the live stream is running properly. No, it seems to work. Okay, great. Okay, here we go. I think you should be able to hear me. Many people already started to join in, so welcome back again. If you're new to this channel or this live stream format, I like to do hobby amateur microscopy, and I would like to show you how to prepare sand slides. It's not the first time that I'm doing that, but today I would like to show you something new because I made some spacer rings. I will explain all of that. 3D printed some spacer rings. You can also see that there is already here on the top, I added a new camera also to my stereo microscope now, so you can actually also see what's going on the stereo microscope. And you can already see that there is a sand sample under the microscope, and specifically this slide that you see over here. I'm going to show you how to make those slides. Usually at the beginning, it always takes a couple of minutes for people to join in. So usually what I do is I read for the first couple of minutes just a hello from all around the world. Okay, hello from Kolkata. Okay, from Northern Germany, from Canada, from Belgium, from Connecticut, the United States, from the UK. Sound is okay, thank you. Guten Abend aus Deutschland. Good evening from Germany. Yes, and from Brazil, Vietnam. Yeah, hello from a train to Austria. Very nice. Okay. Greetings from Jupiter even. Wow, now the whole solar system's watching me. Okay, and from Pennsylvania. Okay, so if you have any questions about anything microscopy related, please do feel free to ask a question in the chat. As always, please maybe indicate at Microbehunter or at Oliver, so that it's easier for me to find out that the question is directed for me. So what are we going to do today? A few things. Well, actually, a sand microscopy, of course, and some sand slide preparation. I would like to show you what I have done. Okay, and I would like to simply start off by a slide that I am going to pick now from here. I'm going to show it to you. Yeah, we'll be using again also the slide ringing table. I want to show this to you here first. Okay, so this here is a sand slide. Something that you cannot see quite well over here. There is a 3D printed spacer ring, and then there's a round cover glass on top. Okay, and from the other side looks like this. And you can see that the sand actually is able to move freely inside here. So this is a very nice slide especially for stereo microscopy. And I think it's a little bit too thick maybe for a compound microscope, but I'm also going to show you that even if you do not have a stereo microscope, I'm also going to show you that you can also use a flashlight, which I happen to have here, and a regular compound microscope also to look at sand samples. Okay, so what have I done? Look what I got here. This here are 3D printed spacer rings. If you have a 3D printer yourself, in the description of this video, I did include an STL file if you want to print this yourself as well. And it's approximate a little bit over 1 millimeter in height, and 1.5 millimeters as a matter of fact. But there is a little an inset over here, difficult to see. So you can put in round cover glasses in here, and they're also held in place. Yeah, and so this is actually a really convenient thing, and I've been experimenting around with those. So I designed those myself, and this is for cover glasses that have a diameter of 18 millimeters. Yeah, so they're round cover glasses here, 18 millimeters, and they should fit directly in here. Yeah? And I had to make it a little bit bigger because sometimes the cover glasses are a little bit bigger than 18 millimeters. So yeah, they fit in here quite well. Now the next, so I'll be showing you how I do that. But the question is now is how do you actually glue it on a slide, right? And I've done that using some nail polish. And honestly, this is a really good connection. I'm actually surprised. Yeah. So yeah, this is one that I already prepared. You can look at it from the bottom, and it's actually very stable. So I tried to, at least with the force of my fingers, try to break it off, and this would probably break the ring, but the connection I think is really good. And I think one of the reasons is that the solvent, which is found in the nail polish, also starts to dissolve the plastic. It's a PLA plastic for 3D printing as well, and therefore I think it makes a very good connection. And then in here I also put, of course, the sand sample, and then I put I try to put some more nail polish in here, and then I'm going to glue in the cover glass, and then we're going to look at it under the microscope. Okay, so that's a little bit the idea, and I would like to share some of the experiences that I have with this system. Again, I'm just like many of you, I'm an amateur, I'm a hobbyist, and I like to experiment around. So by making these videos, live streams, and by preparing these things, I also learned quite a bit from this here. Okay, every now and then I will interrupt myself to read the comments, and then I will try to try my best to answer them. Sometimes I don't know the answer. Do you have any tips for using the 60 times objective? I find it very fuzzy to use as they move my sample around when I focus. So I guess the lens is crashing into the cover glass. As a matter of fact, yes, this is the case. And this is also something that I experience, especially 60 times objectives are, essentially have a very, very small working distance. And and the depth of field is also very low. So what I suggest is that if you look at if you use the 60 times objective, then use a very, very small amount of water. Okay, and then really make sure that the cover glass is really very close to the slide. Of course, this might also crush some microorganisms. I know that this is a little bit a disadvantage as well, but you really have to use very little liquid. Okay, and if you use now a permanent mount, then of course maybe indeed it's going to be too thick. Yeah. So I will just look, car washers. There are different possibilities here. What you can also try to do, some people also used a punch. How do you say this? Your hole, kind of large hole punchers of 2 different sizes also works. I also tried that. Yeah. What I tried, before I show it to you, some things that did not work for me. I did not have very good experience using cardboard. The reason is that cardboard is very absorbing, and it kind of absorbed the glue or whatever glue I used. It absorbed it quite a bit, and therefore it did not stick very well. Yeah, but so maybe I just have to try a different type of glue. But at least with cardboard, I did not have such a good experience, okay, because of the highly absorbing nature. And the reason why I 3D printed this is because I kind of like the idea that you're able to place the cover glass into this, how do you call this, inset here, okay? So I will be perfect for my next collection of micrometeorites. Yes, that's also a thing. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to simply show you how I have prepared some of those slides, and I've also. I just wanted to show this to you as well because you don't know yet what I've got here. I've got a few sand samples. Look what I got here. So these slides I already prepared. Several hours ago, so they're already dry, and I'm going to still show you how I make those and some advantages and disadvantages. And look what I have here. I've got some sand samples. Some of the sand samples are dated. Most of them are quite old, and I just want to explain to you why I have them. It's like this. You might already know that I'm actually in my real life, in my non-YouTube life, I'm a teacher, and 20 years ago, some students brought me, when they were on holidays, some sand samples. However, I do have to give you a little how do you say, warning. You gotta check the legal situation. It's not allowed to collect sand in all countries. What I heard, for example, Italy is very strict. Some tourists even were fined, even danger of going to jail if you take along sand samples. Okay, so I'm just saying this, that this is one of the reasons where you have to be really careful. Just saying. Okay, but those sand samples, most of them I actually got from other people, and quite a long time ago already. Yeah, there is also the information that indeed in Europe and maybe also in other countries there might be some polar lights visible. Okay, there seems to be now quite a little bit of a sunstorm going on, and normally you see the polar lights only towards further northern parts, but apparently they are so strong nowadays that you can even see them all the way down to Central Europe. Okay, so if it's dark and if you've got a bright sky, then you might be lucky as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you again how I made some of those. I'm not going to make all of them. Just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to show you how I prepared some of those. And I'm going to show you also some good and some bad techniques. And what I tried first is the following. I'm going to use a slide ringing table, which I've also used already before. Most of you might not have one. And if you still want to do something like this, then of course what you can try to do is you can try to directly use the brush and apply some nail polish on the lower part of the ring, and then try to kind of glue it directly on the slide. I, in this case, suggest that you make some kind of a template so that you know where the center is. Yeah. So this kind of works, and I would like to show you some problems with that. Okay, I've tried this as well. This is I have to find it first. There was one slide where I tried to apply it manually by hand. Let me quickly check. This did not quite work out the way I hoped it to work out. Yeah, that's the one here, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this now under the stereo microscope so that you see better of the problem, okay? So stereo, okay, and I'm going to put this here. And here we go. Yeah, so let's zoom a little bit out here. Yeah, and you might actually see that I found some difficulty actually applying. I'm going to use again my arrow here. Where is the arrow? Here it is. You see again here that these darker parts here, this is where there's the nail polish, and then over here, those white parts that you see here, this is where there is no nail polish, right? So it was very inconsistent, and sometimes there was even some of the nail polish oozing out on the side. It's not a big problem really, because the nail polish is so strong, it's going to hold it down anyway. But yeah, still it's not completely hermetically sealed off. Yeah. So that's so I found and it was a little bit messy applying this also with a brush, because it's not so large, the whole thing. Yeah. So I decided to try a different method using a slide ringing table. And over here there's another example. Because look here on the back here as well. You see that there is over here, this here is I've made with a slide ringing table. It's sealed off quite nicely, but not enough. So on the outside here, there is not enough nail polish here. So what I tried to apply some more nail polish on the side. I'm going to flip this around so that you see this better here, right? And I was kind of hoping that the nail polish by capillary action is going to be drawn beneath the ring, but the space was so narrow that it didn't do that, so it stayed on the outside. So what you can do in this case is if you start to make a mess of this, it's not a big problem. Oh, great. Where is my knife? You can actually use a sharp knife, if I have one, and I misplaced it. Okay, doesn't matter. I'm just going to use a pointed pick here. You can actually try after it's dried. Okay, you can try to actually scratch. It's cosmetics. Yeah. So just saying, right? And what you do not see so well here is that over here there is actually a little step. So this means basically, or maybe you can see it better here. So this 0.5 millimeter, it goes down 0.5 millimeter, so I can place the round cover glass right on here. So that means I also have to apply some nail polish over here, so that the cover glass is going to be held down, right? So this is going to be a very, how do you say, delicate delicate thing, okay? So it requires a little bit of practice, and I simply want to show you now how I'm trying to do that, okay? Every now and then, a comment here. Somebody noticed. Tini Munson. Oh, du hast eine Schale heute. Ein Schal. In German you say it is not Schale. A Schale is in German, a Schale is a bowl. Yeah, that's a Schale. But this here is called a Schal. I will tell you later. Okay? In a couple of minutes, I'm going to tell you later why I'm wearing this thing. Okay? So there's a reason. Okay? There is a little reason here. I was kind of wondering who's going to notice first. Okay? And I'm going to quickly go through here. 2 weeks ago, I asked why all of the microplastics I've seen were blue. Now I know it's from your scarf. This could be, yes. So yes, there was actually, Michelle was actually the first one to realize. Okay. Yeah, I will explain to you. Would it not be much easier just to sprinkle some sand onto the slide of clear nail varnish before it sets? So that is a point. Okay, and I have done this as well, but there is a reason why I would like to try a different system. The suggestion was the following, and I have done this as well. What you do is you take some clear nail polish, you put a drop of clear nail polish on the slide, you spread the nail polish, make a very thin layer, you sprinkle some sand over it, and you allow it to dry. And that actually works surprisingly well. However, there is a reason why I wanted to do it with a spacer. First of all, the nail polish itself will sometimes, depending on the thickness, will sometimes surround the sand grains. So this means there is going to be, this might disturb. Okay, the actual clear nail polish. I've tried it before. It doesn't disturb a lot, but you see, it's not in the completely natural. It's not in the completely natural configuration. So that's one thing. And the second thing is why I wanted to try it with those spacer rings is because the sand is loose. So this means I can actually shake it around, and I can actually see different things. So if I'm searching for different, I don't know, things under the microscope, like for example, tiny shells or whatever, like the one that you have over here. Okay. It seems to be a little snail, right? Yeah, I have to focus. Yeah. So these things can actually be then seen, as well. This is totally blurry. So, okay, so you get the idea. Yeah. So this means if I actually shake it around a little bit, then I'm able to see it a little differently. Okay. So this is simply the reason. So it depends really what you want to do. And I just decided I'm going to try this system out. So, but I'm talking a lot, I just realized. Everyone's already waiting for me to actually get started. Let me quickly put those slides away again. Okay, let's put them away. And because I do want to start mounting some of them. And now this is where you need a lot of patience. This is where you need a lot of patience, okay? I'm going to be using now my slide ringing table. Of course, you can try different systems as well. You can maybe try to apply the nail polish to the ring. So everything is centered. Yeah, this is basically the ringing table. I made a little black ring with a marker directly on the slide table so that it's as a reference. And then I found out the following. I found out that I'm actually getting nicer rings using a pipette and not the brush of the nail polish, right? So what I'm doing is the following. I'm going to use. I'm just going to show you how this works. I've got a pipette tip here, disposable. I put it on here. And because the nail polish is so viscous, I found it easier to cut off the tip to make it a bit larger. Okay, so the hole is a bit larger now. Okay, I sometimes also do that if I want to pick up some slightly larger water organisms. Yeah. And this is not a messy part. Okay. So I'm going to just hold this here so that you see what I'm doing. I have to go in all the way because there's not so much more left. And give it some time because it's so viscous. Yeah, and this is how it looks like. Okay, I quickly close it again. I don't have a lot of time, and I diluted the nail polish with some acetone, simply to make it, I'm giving it a spin, make it more liquid, and then I simply apply it now, here. Okay. Some of you might remember that I also used this already as a spacer ring. If you do this several times, then you can also get a spacer ring. And now I'm going to put the 3D printed ring on here. I press a little bit and I wait for a few hours. Because we don't want to wait for a few hours, that's one of the reasons why I've actually prepared some of those slides beforehand. Of course, I could also put it on my heater. I've got this coffee heater as well, which allows you to speed up the drying process. You just have to be careful it doesn't become too hot, because otherwise the excuse me, the spacer ring will melt as well. Yeah, but you can actually probably see here on the bottom side that it's actually nicely covered. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to set it aside and I'm going to wait for it to dry. Yeah, so that's why I'm not going to use those here, and that's why I've prepared some others, yeah, over here that essentially are already finished. Okay, so this is the thing, a UV drying light, that is also a possibility. Oh, and I just realized I put myself into, and I don't have some tissue. Here it is. Yes, UV, there is also some kind of UV nail polish available as well. Okay. However, this UV nail polish that I have is some kind of a gel, which is too viscous. So so maybe it would be possible to kind of brush it on. Yeah, I'd have to try this as well. Yeah. So that is monomer, acrylic powder and monomer. Yes, I added some. How do you call this? Some acetone, a few drops. Yeah. So let me do the following. There are some questions. Would you try dilute it with a? Have you tried to print directly on the slide? Probably the PLA won't stick. That's an interesting one. No, I did not try to print directly on the slide, and I think it would be difficult maybe to actually place the slide. Someone would have to fix the slide. I'm going to put the tip away. I'd have to somehow fix the slide on the bed of the 3D printer, so this might be a little bit difficult. So I did not try that. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is the following. I'm going to now start to mount my first sample. And what time is it actually? Gee, I'm already talking 20 minutes and I haven't even gotten around mounting the first sample. And I'm just going to grab one of them here. Mojave, great sand dunes. I got this from someone. I did not visit this place, 2001. And look, these are these tiny little pouches here. And this pouch, when you open it, and I'm going to show you how to fold it as well, because I think it's quite useful. There is, in here, look, if you open it, you can actually find the sand. Where's the sand? Here it is. Okay, so I'm going to carefully put the sand in here. Okay, so that's it. Could have been a little bit more. Okay, and then I try to put again a nail polish around here, and then I put in the cover glass. And I have to do that now actually without getting any nail polish in here. Okay, but before I do that, I just want to quickly show you a little bit this here. I found this out today also on YouTube. There's a little instruction here. Just want to show it to you as well. Look what I got here. It's a piece of paper. So for example, what you've got here is if this is an A4 piece of paper, and if you fold it a couple of times, 2-3 times, into this size, then you get those rectangles, and then you just cut them out. And look, I just want to show you how this actually works, how to make those little pouches. You start off by let me put this over here. Okay, you do it the following. You first of all start by folding it almost all the way to the top. Almost all the way to the top. So you see there's a little, one is longer than the other one. Then you fold a corner up here all the way to the line. Okay, you fold the other corner up here all the way to the line. And then you basically put in whatever you want to put in here, the sand sample or some, I don't know, pollen or some whatever, insects, whatever. Okay, you fold it the top part you fold over once, you fold it over twice, okay, and you fold it inwards. And you fold the other one also inwards, and then you can tuck one in beneath into the other, and then you have your little pouch and you can label it on the other side. Okay, so that's basically, yeah, I think it's kind of convenient because it doesn't take a lot of space, and that's how you can also collect your microscopy samples. Okay, so, but let's go back here again to this here. What I have to do now is I'm going to now check whether there are any sand grains located on the ring. And I have to tell you, I'm starting to feel a little bit hot with this scarf. So here we go. Okay. So I'm checking. Yeah, see, you really want to make sure that there are no sand grains here on this ring here. Otherwise, the cover glass is not able to. Otherwise, the cover glass is not able to hold. Okay, so this one we have to also remove. Here, there might be a tiny one over here. So let me see. Where is this? See, it's a little difficult for me to do this. You get the idea, okay? Okay, it seems to be reasonably clean. Okay. And now the tricky part. So this is the thing that scares me a little bit the most, because I have to now try to apply a thin, very thin ring of nail polish on the side to be able to glue the round cover glass in place. And this makes me nervous. I have to completely center it again. Okay, I have to completely center it again. By spinning it, it's not quite centered. And yeah, it's got to be reasonably okay. I guess it's okay. So this makes me now nervous. Okay, I really have to make sure that I'm not making a mess of the whole thing. Maybe it's not even necessary to have it covered all the way around, because if the cover glass is held in place, I can always apply a second layer around it on the surface. Like, for example, what I've done here. After I glued in the cover glass, I applied another layer of nail polish right around the edge of the cover glass. Yeah, so this should also stabilize it further. So here are my round cover glasses, and I forgot to do one thing. I should have tried it whether it actually fits first, because not all cover glasses have the same size. So let me quickly not brush it, but clean wipe it. Okay, seems to be okay. So, and now this is when the serious part starts. Let's try it again. I'm going to take up now. I did not cut off the tip. Let me see if this actually works. I have to be a little bit more careful now. Let's see if I've got enough. Okay, let's give it a try. Of course, I have to be careful now, because the sand itself should not fly out. I cannot see it. There is some stuff on here. Okay. Not a lot, really. So it apparently was not able to take up a lot of the. Maybe I should have cut it off, the tip. Let's give it a. Looks already a little bit better. Yes, I hope that this works. And now the cover glass. Maybe I'm gonna use a pipette, not a pipette, some tweezers. So, and let's try to place the cover glass directly in here. This is difficult to see because and then let's kind of lower it in here. Is it on? I don't know. You know what? I'm going to try to just. Yes, it's in. Carefully press down a little bit. And then I'm going to put it again under the microscope. to see how it actually worked. And here we go. Here it is. I think it's okay. Ah, yeah. See, there is a little bit down here. There's a little bit of air here, but that's okay. The cover glass mostly over here is held in place. So it should be fine. If I want to, I can always apply a little bit of more nail polish right around the edge here. Okay, so, and let's have a look at the sample. Okay, a pretty fine sand from the Mojave Desert. Yeah. And the sand looks pretty transparent as well. So what I'm going to do now with this one over here, this might actually also be suitable for the compound microscope, especially also because it's not so thick. Look at this. Looks like pyrite, which looks a little bit like gold, which is not gold. Iron pyrite, I think it's called. Yeah. Okay. So that is basically the first one. So I'm going to now put it under my other microscope. I have to turn it on first, and I'm going to show you how this actually looks there. I have to turn up the light. Yeah, the whole thing here is not lined up either. So this is now, of course, with the light coming from the bottom. Yeah. That's basically how it looks like. Yeah, nothing special. That's not what I really wanted to show you. Rather, I'm going to now take a strong flashlight. Okay. I'm going to shine it now on top here. And this is how it looks like with a flashlight. And I think you get the idea that this is actually also pretty cool. Okay. So this is using the 4x objective. Yeah. So even if you do not have a stereo microscope, I would recommend something like this, that you try that. And as a matter of fact, I found out that actually the depth of field is pretty good as well. Yeah. This probably has to do also with the smaller diameter of the objective. Therefore, the depth of field also seems to be significantly higher. My mistake, higher. And therefore, it looks kind of nice. Try it here. Yeah. It's still a little bit dark, but yeah, you get the idea. Okay. So that is basically the next one, and I'm going to just keep on doing this now. I need to label this, of course. So I'm going to give it a number 3. You cannot see anything yet. I'm going to give it a number 3 so that I know what this actually is, and I'm also going to label this here number 3 so that I'm able to get so later when I add some slide labels that I know what actually I'm supposed to label. Okay, so and I'll keep on doing that now, just for the fun of it, and we're going to see how well this actually works. Next one. Okay, this one is Sunset Beach, Cape Town, South Africa, 2000. Okay, so sample from South Africa. And let's give this one here a try. Or maybe I should have placed the slide into the slide ring table first. Well, that's always a risk that there is some of the stuff here on the side. Okay, I'm just going to hope that this is going to be fine. Maybe otherwise the nail polish will will remove some of the sand grains that are on the side. Yeah, again, I have to carefully put it on here. Carefully put it on here. Center everything. Yep, this is also fine. Round cover glass. I forgot again to test fit the cover slip. Even though I made the diameter a little bit larger, 0.5 millimeter larger, okay, Even though I did that, it sometimes still doesn't fit. But it's going to be fine. And I'm going to place it here, and we're going to go and see. And in the meantime, this one already started to dry up. So I need to get a new tip. And this time, maybe I am, after all, cutting off the tip again here. So I cut it off. And maybe this makes it a little bit easier. Yep, it does. It is being drawn up much more easily. So, and it's actually quite a lot. Ooh, it's quite a lot that I added. So let's see how well this actually works. Maybe I added a little too much. I don't know. I need my... And again, you know what I need? I also need something else. I need my glasses. This is so much better now. This is so much better. And now I can actually put it in here and drop it in. And it's hopefully... Yes, now it's in. Yes. Yeah, it's a little too much, but I think it's gonna work. I think what's important is that the cover glass is actually fastened in place properly. And we're going to have another look under the microscope. And then I'm going to, again, check some of the questions. Ooh, this is also a nice looking sample. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's put the arrow away. Okay, here we go. Oh, this looks very nice as well. Here we go. And let's zoom in a bit. Refocus. Nice. Okay. So that is sand from South Africa. Yeah, very nice looking. So let's look at the short quality control here. The edge of the cover glass. See over here? Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I know it's maybe a little bit too much, but it's going to shrink a little bit as it dries up. But as long as you're able to see the sand in the center, I think it's going to be fine. Yeah. Let's have a look. So far, no questions. No questions, no questions, no questions. Okay. Has it been explained why the scarf? It has not been explained yet. I say yet because I will explain. I will explain. What's the difference between a water flea and a Daphnia? I often see those two terms interchangeably. The term water flea is a very general term. It's a colloquial term for small water crustaceans. Daphnia are actually also considered water fleas. Cyclops, copepods, whatever. They're all concerned water fleas. So water flea is a general term for small water crustaceans. Yeah. So it's a very general term. And Daphnia you can say as. So I think water flea. The term water flea is not really a taxonomically valid name. I can take the glasses off again. I often use it because then I do not have to distinguish. Yeah. Daphnia is a type of water flea. Blood fluscrepes, yes, okay. Bottom illumination with polarized light is sometimes... Oh, yes, I should have. I don't even know if I have polarized light filters here. Can I illuminate it with a laser pointer? I could. I don't have a laser pointer with me, but I could try to illuminate this with a flashlight. And I want to show you something, how it actually looks like. Let's zoom in, because when you zoom in and when you actually illuminate it with a flashlight from the side, then sometimes because it casts shadows, it actually looks nicer. Okay? So you actually do get a different, a little bit of a different view. And what you can also try is, of course, is I also have light from the bottom. So I just have to switch it on. And where's this? This is off. Let's turn it on from the bottom. And that's now the stereo microscope with light from the bottom. Again, looks a little different. Yeah. So you see there are plenty of ways that you can play around with. Honestly, I think that might be a good idea. Maybe the next time I'm going to, how do you say, play around a little bit with polarized light filters. Yeah. I'm just reading. I'm impressed. You have an answer for everything. Yes, well, as a, how do you say, as a teacher, I'm exposed to all sorts of different questions. And sometimes the most difficult questions are asked by students, seriously. Of course, as a teacher, you can, of course, always say that you do not know something. That's absolutely okay. Students will, of course, definitely accept this. But sometimes I simply give some kind of a meaningful sounding answer. And I have to label this here as well. I'm just labeling. And it's because sometimes multiple answers are possible, you know. So let's have a look again here. And towards the, it's already 41 minutes. I'm going to make a few more, of course. And then I'm going to, I don't know, Dubai. How's this? Where's the desk here? Look, I've got a sand sample. Unfortunately, no date. Yeah, so always date your samples. That's my general recommendation. Put a lot of information on the samples. Okay, so let's put those things here under the microscope as well. So I'm going to now put it directly first on the ringing table. So center everything. It's kind of, that's fine. And let's open it up. And here it is, beautiful red sand. I think that should be fine. Yep, it's not so much. Okay, so number is Dubai. Again, I have to. So what I think I should have done is I should have probably added a little bit yet more acetone to the nail polish. Okay, I'm always cutting off the tip, and let's put it in here. Again, carefully. I'm going to try now to use a little bit less. Patience. Could be. Let's give it a try. So. And cover glass goes on top. Again, I will try to, by touching it like this, and it will sometimes actually lock into place. I think finished again. So let's have a look again under the microscope. You see, we can, by tapping it, we can spread it around a little bit. Yeah. So, yeah, this is basically again light from the back. Let's turn up the light from the top. Yeah. Also nice. Yeah, look, sometimes it's actually better if you make the background dark. So let's put in a dark background. Of course, because it's now a little bit elevated and raised up, I have to refocus the whole thing. Here we go. Okay, looks kind of nice, I think. Yeah. Maybe we have to And we can, of course, also try to turn this off and to, again, have a little bit of light from the side. And I think, you see, like, because of the reflections, it kind of shines and gives it a little bit more of a feeling of depth. And let's get the arrow out of the side as well. It's because I don't want to see that. Okay, here we go. And let's zoom in again. Yeah, that's already at maximum zoom. Yeah. Looks kind of nice. Yeah? I'm checking. Do you have sand from East Canada? Would you like some? Oh, of course. If you're offering me, of course, I would be very much appreciate this. However, just be careful. As I said at the beginning of the video, it might not always. You gotta please check the laws of your country. Not every country likes it if you take along sand samples. And those sand samples that I have here, I received as a present, and the quantity is not very much. So I just don't want anyone to get in trouble because of that. Yeah. But then I know that in some countries it really doesn't matter, but some countries are pretty strict about that. Yeah. So therefore. And the reason why I can do that is because the samples are pretty old, over 20 years already, and most of them I didn't even collect myself. Huh? And this is Crescent City, Pacific Ocean, Crescent City, 2001, also over 20 years old already. Let me quickly go back to the desk view. The sand sample must not contain any soil or organic matter. Yep, let's put it this way. That's generally correct. You always have to be careful when transferring. That's why some countries are so strict about food import and export and so on. However, on the other hand, if you're worried about microbes, the wind and weather will carry so much sand and so many particles all over the world that for all practical purposes, I say, you cannot avoid the spread of microorganisms anyway, because they won't let themselves be, how do you say, they travel. Yeah. And for example, several weeks ago here in Central Europe, where I am, we had a lot of Sahara dust. Yeah, in a lot of Sahara dust in the atmosphere because of a sandstorm. So a lot of Sahara dust was actually transferred over many thousands of kilometers. But it is correct, especially when passing on any samples. We have to be careful that we do not cross-contaminate. But then on the other hand, this is going to happen anyway. For example, in clothing, shoes. But still, this should not be an excuse, of course, not to take care. And I know that in some countries, they're pretty strict about this as well. So I hope that this is actually now going to work out, because these sand grains are pretty thick, actually. So I don't know whether this cover glass is able to fit over it. Again, I'm going to cut off the tip. So again, and then I see that there are again a couple of questions or comments. This is probably again too much, but I'm going to try it anyway. The nail polish should really flow well. And I think it's important as well that the ring is properly glues strongly to the slide. Otherwise, it's going to move, of course, when you apply the second ring here. So I forgot to put on my glasses again. Yes, and it locks into place. Very nice. So this one also seems to have made good contact. And let's have another look. And here we go. here we go. Ooh, these are huge sand grains. And a little bit blurry. Here we go, that's better. These sand grains are quite huge. Quite colorful as well. By the way, this is the first time that I'm looking at those sand samples. So, and look here, the side as well. The side has been more or less properly, almost everywhere. Some of the material is oozing out here on the side, but it's fine. So maybe we can again look at it using my other microscope. Here it is. Oh, yeah. Light from the bottom, but I guess it's kind of obvious now that it's actually better to have some light shining in from the top. So again, this is the lowest power that I have. It kind of also shows a little bit that even though the flashlight is very strong, the image is still kind of dark. I'm going to simply push now. So, and actually it would be kind of nice to actually go a little bit on some kind of a discovery mission, maybe to find some small shells or whatever. So it shouldn't be unusual. And what I did not find, however, and that's another interesting thing, is I did not find a lot of microplastics in here. And the reason is the following, because the microplastics or any other plastics are less dense. So if there is kind of a wave action happening, the more dense sand particles tend to settle down, while the lighter microplastics remains on the surface and is then flushed away on the shore. So this here is, I need to also label this here. I'm going to give it number 6 and number 6 so that I actually know what it is. So, and I always have to find a place where to put it for drying. So I'm going to read again some of the comments here. In case there are more comments. Quite unrelated, but I was wondering if you have any tips on how to find stentor. I've taken sediment and also surface samples from the local pond, but no luck. Stentor is an organism that is sessile. That means it likes to attach to surface. So you should indeed try to find take sediment. Okay. Otherwise, I would say difficult. If you don't find anything, then try an enrichment medium to simply increase the number of microorganisms generally. So you might add a little bit of nutrients. Very small amounts of milk might also help, and then all of those microorganisms will then start to actually use this as a food source and will start to reproduce. Hopefully, then also whichever ones are present, maybe also stentor. Okay, but like so often, it is also a question of simply patience and continuing to look. I can't believe I caught you live. My question is related to one of your live streams 8 months ago. Can I use phase contrast objective for bright field microscopy as well? The answer is yes. You can use phase contrast for bright field. And in my other channel, several years ago, in the Microbehunter microscopy channel, which is the sister channel here, where I talk more about technology and optics, I actually once did a comparison, a side-by-side comparison. And there is a slightly lower image quality if you use a phase contrast objective for bright field. And the reason is because of the phase ring. But honestly, you need to make a side-by-side comparison, and the loss in quality is generally not very high. You probably won't notice it unless you make a direct side-by-side comparison. Okay, so the short answer is if you've got phase contrast objectives, yes, you can use it for bright field as well. Yeah. What type of microscope are you using for this video? This is what I'm using right now over here on the side. That is a stereo microscope. Okay, it's a Euromex microscope. And what I've done is I connected a camera to it, an HDMI camera, and there's of course also a second camera over here. Yeah. Which kind of shows what I'm placing on under the microscope. Yeah. I'm just reading again. And the small look good, and age doesn't. Okay, is there geology full of yes? Yeah. So okay. I hope I didn't forget anything. What time is it? Oh, okay. Actually, I prepared more samples. Let's try this one over here from the Netherlands, a sample. Okay, and then I will talk a little bit about the scarf that some of you have been wondering about. Okay, towards the end of the video. Maybe I'm also going to put the scarf under the microscope. Okay, so let's put this to the side. You see, and that's always a problem. You see where's, you can't see it. Here it is. The tip always starts to dry up, and then it clogs, and I always have to use a fresh one. So a sample from Netherlands. It's also, what, 23 years already old. And okay, it's slightly more. Let's go for another one. Again. So here we go again. Give it a nice little spin. Okay, the tip also spreads the nail polish. I will try to wipe again the cover glass. My glasses make all the life easier for me. I place it in here and it snaps into place very nice. Okay. And you would like to, of course, wait until it dries. We are not that patient. We are not that patient, and for this reason, we're going to have a look at it again. Let's scatter the whole thing. Stereo. And here it is. It's also a nice looking sample. Let's go in a little deeper. Ah, yeah. I wonder what that long white thing is. There is, however, one thing that I also wanted to say, and that is usually when the sand samples are wet, they still look nicer because the colors are more bright, and but this again has the advantage that I'm simply able to kind of move it around a little bit, and that's kind of more natural way of appearance. By the way, I just wanted to show you something else. Instead of using the black disc here, look what happens if you use a mirror. A mirror might actually also make the things yet. Okay. Sometimes actually when you use a mirror, then the background looks a little bit darker, but in this case not. Yeah. Nah. I think we're gonna stay with the black disc. Yeah, that's better like this. Yeah. Okay. Do you have lug oil or heavy oil? Nope, I don't use that. Okay. I don't have that, unfortunately. I'm just checking again so let me see. Okay, there is some other discussion going on. Okay, but no questions for me. Unless I overlooked something. Okay, so that is basically the one from yeah, from the Netherlands. I will check again the scope, the other view over here. Maybe we can have again some light from background. And this is how it looks like. Let's go up a little bit with because this is now actually polarized light as well. Whoop. And I can play around with the polarization here. It actually also looks kind of, yeah. Yeah, but again, if you kind of shine light through the minerals, through the sand grains, and of course you do not see the surface texture quite as well. But still, I kind of like I like those shapes, and it does look a little bit artistic as well. Yeah, but let's try how this looks like. Now this is now using the 10 times objective, and now I'm going to shine again light on here, and you see again looks very different. I think the magnification is quite high. Let's go down a little bit, so that's now the 4 times. That looks quite okay. Yeah. Yeah. So if you joined in a little bit later, very briefly a summary, what I'm doing right now is I'm mounting some sand slides, and I'm using some 3D printed spacer rings. If you have a 3D printer yourself and you want to try it out, I actually put into the description a link to the STL file. And you can also 3D print this, yeah, if you're interested. Yeah. So, and this is yeah, number 7. Where's the desk? Number 7. Always label everything properly. Number 7. And I put it up here to dry. Now I don't remember if these are the ones that I actually just recently made. I think it's solid. Does a stereo microscope have 2 objectives? Yes. Well, yes. It depends. There are different designs. There is a so-called a Greenhoff design and a common main objective design. Most consumer stereo microscopes actually have 2 objectives. Okay. However, there are also slightly more expensive models. They're not quite as common because they also have other disadvantages, where essentially you have one main objective on the bottom and then you have 2 eyepieces. Yeah. We have also used once one of those in a museum. I've seen them, but these are, I would say, probably more expensive. Yeah, and I don't know if the advantages are so much, yeah, bigger. Yeah. Would it be possible to project each image onto a VR virtual reality headset set to get a stereoscopic image? I think everything's possible. Yeah, why not? I would say. But that is something that I encourage someone to try out. I don't have the equipment for that. And yeah, basically the idea is that maybe connect 2 cameras and then kind of project it on into 3D goggles. The only question that I have is why would you do that? I mean, unless you want to do stereo microscopy over a distance, because generally if you capture something with a camera projected on the screen, the resolution, the clarity is never like that, never the same amount as if you were to directly look at it. Yeah? So this must be a very specific application. Yeah? Yeah. Yeah. So let's try this here. What's the next one? I don't know. I don't. Sometimes some places I don't even know where they are. Kalahari Desert. Yeah. I also got this as a present, year 2000 sometime. And I think this, if I remember, this is also a pretty red one. So let's open it here. And here it is. Yeah, this is a very nice looking. Oh, a lot. That's too much, maybe. I'm gonna leave the rest in here, and always have to exchange the tip, unfortunately. So, and what time is it? Yeah, and then I'll slowly, even though I have 2 more left, I don't know. Either I quickly mount them, or I don't know. But if I just, you know what I'll do? I'll just quickly finish them as well. And without talking too much. Yep, it's also nicely covered. And getting those round cover slips out of the box is not always so easy. So here we go. Quickly dry wipe it as well. And let's place it in here. Up. See, this one seems to be a little too large. Yeah, see? Barely. It doesn't make contact. It doesn't snap into place as I hoped it would be. Yeah, but it's okay. Yeah. So, quick look. And then there are two more left. And stereo view. That's the one. Wow. Okay. Yeah, it looks more reddish. And again, the other scope. Yeah. That's how it looks like here. Oh, it looks also actually quite nice. You see that the nice red color. Let's go up a little bit with the magnification here. Yeah. Yeah, here the depth of field, of course, is already quite low. Yeah. So turn this off. The flashlight from the top. This is actually good. I wonder what the red color is. Maybe some iron oxide. I don't know. Yeah. So that's actually quite nice. So that's sand from the Kalahari Desert. Sometimes I'm sometimes a little surprised myself that the sand samples are so homogeneous and so so regular. So number 8. Oh yeah. Number 8. Here we go. And very quickly I'm finishing off the remaining 2 as well. So that I can say that I've finished all of them. Number 1. Number 2. It's okay. I have no, it sounds French. I don't know where exactly this is. Yeah. This was also not a place that I visited. It was also, yeah. Still some left. So, okay. I wonder if... no. Need to exchange the tip again. This is, yeah. Make sure that the nail polish stays very fluid. If it's too viscous, then you also have a problem of getting the correct amount. It's okay. And yeah, also a little bit too big. You see, some cover glasses are a little bit, they have a little edge on the side. Yeah. Yeah. But it's still going to hold. And if I later on add another ring of nail polish around it, it's going to be fine. So, stereo. Again, different. Grains here are again different size. And would of course be kind of nice to also occasionally find some seashells or things like that as well. And I'm quite sure that there are plenty of them in there, but I've not been looking for them now. Yeah, so that's also one of the reasons why I want to make sure that the sand can move around, so that I'm able to see different things better. Yeah. Let's go a little down with the magnification. So here we go. Why are you exchanging tips? I'm exchanging the tips because the nail polish dries so quickly that it becomes clogged every time. That's the problem. Yeah. After a couple of minutes on the it stops. It becomes closed, and then that's why I have to change it, so that basically I can pick up more of the nail polish. Okay, so that's a little bit. I admit a slight disadvantage. And you know what? Last one, Roscoff. Where is that? Roscoff. It's again a sample that I did not pick myself. I did not collect myself, rather. Okay. I have to, just a second, label. This is number 8, 7, 8. This was number 9. So I have to add a number 9 there as well, because I do not want to confuse them. And this is number 10. What time is it? Yeah, I think it works out quite nicely with the time. And then I can talk a little bit about this scarf that I'm wearing, which makes me already feel quite hot. There's a lot of sand in here. And next tip, again, a little bit like this. And for those of you who did not listen or hear that yet, I did add several drops of acetone before to make it more liquid. Yep, this is now also nicely. And again, look, some of the cover glasses, I don't know if you're able to see this. Some of the cover glasses are not completely round. They have a little edge here, right? And this is actually the problem why it doesn't fit in. Yeah, so I have to choose a different one. And this one also has a tiny little edge here. And so that's a little bit of a quality issue concerning the cover glasses. But this one seems to be quite round. Seems to be okay. And here we go. Place it in here. Yes, and this one, yes, this one now completely snapped into place, and there's even a little bit of wiggle room. Fine. Yes, so that is, this was the last sample. Let's have a quick look here again under the microscope. Ah, yeah. Also looks nice. There's some darker grains here as well. I wonder what that could be. All sorts of different things. It's also interesting to see a little bit how the shape of the sand grains is different. This one seems to be significantly more rugged. Ah! Finally something of interest. Look at this. What is this? A tiny little snail. Here we go. Here it is. You see that it's already open, looks already quite rounded, so it's probably been already in there quite for some time, and it's been already washed off, by wave action and abrasion and erosion. It's kind of been already smoothed out a little bit. Yeah. But here we go. Here we have a tiny little, yeah. And that's essentially some of the things that one could do with sand. Yeah. Then one just goes around hunting for some interesting things. Yeah. But I do want to show you now, just a second, I will show you now something else that I have collected. Let me close this. This is number 10. So that we 10, 10. And because I have over here some nice things as well. Let's make it a little... Something that I pulled out from a sand sample. Yeah, also some tiny snails. Yeah. This here, for example, is a spike of a sea urchin snail, seashells, whatever, sea urchin spike. So that's basically, maybe I can just put them all on one side a little bit. Here. Yeah, so all of these things I've found in one sand sample. Yeah. And there was something else that I found in a sand sample, which I would like to show you. No, not microplastics, but surprise, 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 lots of glass pieces. Yeah. So I found glass shards of different colors as well in sand. Is this some kind of a new form of pollutant, maybe? Not only microplastics, but actually sand. And the reason why I found those is because they have a similar density to the sand grains, and therefore they're kind of mixed with the sand grains quite well. Yeah. But just saying that, yeah, this is also something that I found. Yeah, some of those you see actually are quite sharp. Yeah. So quite also an interesting discovery. Yeah? And some of them are a little bit more round, because they have been already in the water for a longer time. Yeah? So, if you have an extra sample, could you put in some water? Some water? You know what? Why not? I've not tried this. I think there is a little bit of yeah, there's some sand left in here. Okay, I'll try that. The request has been to add a little bit of water to one of those samples. Okay. And in this case, I'm probably not going to put a glass on it. Okay, so that's basically how it looks like. And I'm going to put it directly under the microscope, and we're going to put a small, that's why I've got these water balls here. So, and I need a new pipette. And let's pull up some water here. And the request has been to put a little bit of water under, wrong microscope, on the sand to see how the colors change. And indeed, it should change. The colors should become a little bit stronger. So that's how it looks like. And maybe even more. So let's give it a try. I'm going to now. You can also see on the top what I'm doing, and woo! More that actually. Of course now the problem is now that of course the water itself also reflects a little bit some of the light. Yeah, that's a little bit of a thing. Yeah. Let's go out. Yeah, so that's yeah, but it does look a little bit better. But yep, here we see that the colors are a little bit brighter. They don't look quite as pale anymore. Let's do the following. I'll put it under my other microscope. It also might take a little bit of time until actually all of the air has disappeared from the cracks. And where is the scope view? What time is it? Yeah. I have to quickly. Yeah, so that's. Look, this is actually quite nice. Yeah, because there is less difference in refractive index between the sand grains and the surrounding water. For this reason, it looks actually nicer. And it's too dark. Let's stay here. Let's. Looks nice. Okay. Again, I think it's always interesting to see how what a strong effect the different lighting techniques can have. Yeah. So, you know, folks, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to quickly, briefly clean up this whole thing here, because you all would like to know a little bit the secret of my scarf. So I have to really make sure that I'm not getting any nail polish on the scarf. And this scarf here is the reason why I'm wearing this. Just a second, where is the desk view again? This scarf here. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't have a way to make the image larger. That's a little bit of a pity. So I guess I'm just going to leave it like this here with the sand grains in the background. This scarf here was a present. Okay, a present to me, which I got today. I just want to show you what's written on it. It was actually made me very happy. There is actually some writing on the scarf. And can you read this? Oh, that's the end. The front is here. It's the, you've guessed, Microbehunter. Hunter.com. Yeah, this is my website, so to say. And I got this as a present from my son, my 12-year-old, made it for me and gave it to me today. Why? So that I have something, to do a little bit of advertisement for this channel and for my webpage. I'm going to put it under the microscope, of course, because all it kind of looks nice. Yeah, all of those fibers, also look quite fascinating. And here. This actually shows, look how the fine fibers, how the camera's got a pretty good resolution actually. I'm quite happy that you're able to see all of those fibers. Yeah, and the reason you might want to now know is why did I actually get this why did my son give it to me? Well, he made it. Apparently, it took quite a long time to actually make those letters. And the reason is it was actually a birthday present because today is my 52nd birthday, and for this reason I got this, and I'm very happy, and that's why I also put on the scarf today. So also as a little bit as a thank you to for this very nice present. Okay, so that's a little bit now the solution of the secret of why I was wearing this scarf. To also say thank you to him, of course, because he'll be watching the video as well. So this is basically all I wanted to share with you today. Okay, I might be looking at those samples again next week when all of the nail polish is properly dried. And then I might also put in another ring on top. By the way, it's a very important thing. A very important thing is the following concerning the dates of the. It could be that next week I also have to do it on Sunday. Okay, normally I want to keep the Saturday live streams at the same time. But occasionally on Saturday in the evening, at my time in the evening, I might have other appointments, and I think next week is another one of those dates. So I will put this in any case into the trailer. So that means usually a day in advance I will put the trailer of the live stream as an announcement, and then there's this countdown, and then you also know when the live stream will take place. And I will also post it in the how do you call this, in the community posts. Okay, so I also announced it in the community posts. I have to say this because I know that some people expect this to be every Saturday at the same time, and normally it is. Unfortunately, I'm not always able to make it myself due to personal appointments that I have, and I think next week might be again one of those days where I have to do it on a Sunday. Okay, yeah. So I want to just say thank you for having joined me again. Okay, I hope that this today, even though I made 10 times the same type of slide, I hope it was still kind of interesting for you, and that it kind of also motivates you to experiment a little bit. For me, it was the first time that I actually tried this system the way that I've showed it to you. And I'm also learning in the process. And if you also have, of course, your own recommendations, then please do feel free to post it also into the comments section of the video. And I think I'm just going to leave it at that. Again, I wish you, a nice day. All the best. Happy microbe hunting as always. And see you again next week. And please do check the community posts for an announcement when the live stream will be. Okay, but for today, bye-bye. And thank you that you joined again this week. See you around.